It's going to be echoey in here, but
That's okay.
So we're talking about having different conversations and ways in which you can tweak that environment or the way in which you have that conversation to elicit a different sort of communication than you would otherwise. And I was having a conversation with Motaz, Atalia, I believe, met him for the first time today, and we were just talking about different ways you have conversations, and I brought up how often when you're driving with somebody, you can have a completely different conversation than you would if you're speaking directly to their face. And I think there's two things going on. One, you're not looking at them, but they're very near to you. So there is definitely a physical communication that's going on, but it's in your periphery rather than being front and center. And so you're able to speak off the top of your mind and not be constantly reacting or trying to figure out what they think of what you're saying. You're able to just speak. I think also because you're doing something physically, especially if you're the driver, but even if you're the passenger, you're kind of watching and you're aware of what's happening in your exterior environment at speed, especially if you're on the freeway. And so your mind, I think, is able to shut down. And it's almost like the way it's explained when you do psychedelics is that parts of your mind shut down, and that's what allows you to see things in a completely different way, because your mind's not analyzing 30 things, it's analyzing one thing. And I think similar things can happen when you're having a conversation in a car or when you're having a conversation in a walk. If you're walking side by side and you're in the right environment where you can walk and not have to be dodging people and not have to go into a single file line, but you're able to just kind of walk down the street side by side, you can have a completely different form of communication than you could just sitting in front of each other. Another way you might be able to do it, though, that doesn't involve an action is, which I saw at Factory, was when two people can sit down in the same room, and it's a quiet space, and they're kind of sitting in chase lounges, so they're able to recline, relax, but they still are not looking at each other. Their heads are situated in such a way where they're by each other, and you can see the person if you crank your neck, but because you're laying down in this kind of relaxing position, you're not likely to do that. But you're able to kind of stare out into space and have a conversation and not be reacting to all their physical actions and facial expressions.